All right, believe it or not, season 11 of Hoarders begins tonight on A&E, and we are getting a special guest in this morning who's going to tell us about this upcoming season, who has been with the team since the beginning. We are so happy to welcome Corey Chalmers to the show this morning. Good morning from Idaho, right?
I am. Good morning, Carly.
So my first thought, wow, season 11. Are you surprised that we made it to season 11?
I'm very surprised that we're in season 11. This show just has like a cult following. Every year I think, well, this will be it. And it just keeps going and going and going. So it's been great. We've helped a lot of people. We've really brought a lot of awareness to this disorder.
So, and talk about this, because that's my first thought. When you see the preview, the video that we're watching now, my heart just simply breaks for these people. But you have been able to help a lot of people through the years. Maybe let's start there. Maybe help my heart out a little bit, because I know this has to be tough to watch over and over.
On the show, we get some pretty extreme cases, and the people aren't always 100%, as willing as they could be. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. But when you clean the house of an 80-year-old lady, for example, and she runs and jumps on her bed because she hasn't seen it in 20 years, I mean, there's nothing more satisfying than that.
What have you kind of learned in all these years of doing the show, and of course being in the cleaning business and the hazmat business that you've been in for so long, as far as when this disorder starts for people? I mean, do families typically start? I mean, is this something young that happens? Is there a tragic event in their lives? What have you learned about these families that are struggling with this?
Sure. I mean, there's about 15 main reasons that cause 99.9% of hoarding. Some of it can actually be genetic, so we do see it passed down from generation to generation. It can be a learned behavior. If you grow up in an environment where you don't have rules and you never learn the skills of cleaning and organizing. But I would say about 90% of the time we see depression and those traumas that you see on our show, that have just triggered these voids, and they're really just filling voids with stuff which don't truly fill the void. So they're always searching and just collecting more and more until it gets to the point where their house is completely full and unusable.
But when did you guys shoot these episodes? I'm assuming, but kind of before everything shut down this year?
Correct. Yeah, we actually were filming mainly last summer. So we wrapped up well before this pandemic started, luckily. Now we're talking about moving forward, how we're going to do it, and what the show's going to look like if we have to be socially distanced, wearing masks and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, obviously cleaning now is not, it's never been more important. So obviously you and your company still have to go on, and we have to figure out a way to still help these families, right?
Absolutely. I think the bigger impact we need to make is, how do we build the trust with the people? Having strangers come in your house, everyone's afraid of that. So we need to show them that we can be safe and still help them clean their homes.
Yeah. How do you find these families? Do you now, that we're in season 11, do you have people that reach out to the show? Is there, how does this work?
Yeah, absolutely. Some seasons we've gotten as many as 16,000 applications. We have applications on our websites. We get all kinds of people reaching out for help, and it's sad because we can't help them all.
Yeah. What is your advice, I guess, for families that are watching? And again, I think we've all maybe, made some jokes in our family, or said, oh, I think we all know somebody that maybe can kind of be walking this line. Any advice, or what do you want people to kind of take away from this, and how we can all help simplify our life and make sure that we maybe don't get in these traps?
Well, I think two big factors that I see a lot are people living in the past and people what-ifing the future. So look at the things you're holding on to from the past, see if you really need them. If it's something that your child did when they were in elementary school and you're now 50, 60, and the kids are living on their own, we got to part with that stuff. And then stop what-if in the future, because we won't have the supply, the tool to fix or, repair everything that breaks in the future. I think those are the two biggest things that people really hang on to. And if we can let those two go and just live in the moment, be present, you don't need the past and you don't have to worry about the future.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything that you're really looking forward to in season 11 as we get ready to wrap up here?
I love the new format of 2-hour episodes with just one person. We really get to dive in deep. So I like that the most.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time this morning. Again, people are looking for things to binge watch, and no doubt this is going to be on their list. And as you said, there's a huge following for this. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you all tonight.